Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Tempest and we get to hear from Antonio again in Act 2, Scene 1 today. Antonio, remember, is Prospero's brother who stole Prospero's dukedom, put Prospero and his daughter on a boat and sent them off to sea, hopefully to never see them again. Antonio was on the boat that got wrecked at the beginning of the play, along with Alonso, the King of Naples, Alonso's son Ferdinand, who swam to a different shore and is now sort of being set up with Miranda by Prospero and Ariel. Also on the boat was Sebastian, Alonso's brother, plus Gonzalo and Federico, a few other people, blah, 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 blah. So they spent the beginning of the scene chatting about how weird it was to be on this island, and Gonzalo was trying to be positive and saying what sort of kingdom he would lead if he had a kingdom to lead, all of that sort of a thing. Alonso the king is almost certain that his son is dead, so he's being sort of a weepy sad sack about that whole thing. But a couple of them are trying to convince him that no, he could possibly still be alive. And Antonio and Sebastian had just been sort of like making snide comments off to the side in each other's general direction while all this is going on. But then Ariel came in and sang a little song that made everybody except for Antonio and Sebastian fall asleep. And while all the rest of them have been asleep, Antonio is goading Sebastian into killing Alonso so that Sebastian can become the King of Naples, similar to how Antonio became the Duke of Milan. So after his monologue yesterday, Antonio almost has Sebastian in his hand right now. He's like, so what do you think? And Sebastian's like, I'm content with that. And Antonio's like, so how far would you take that contentment? Like, are you ready to act right now? And Sebastian's like, well, I think I know what you're saying, and I think I get it, but like, okay, so you took your brother's dukedom. How did that affect your conscience? And Antonio replies, "Aye, sir, where lies that? If 'twere a kibe, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Milan, candid be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon. If he were that, which now he's like, that's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever, whiles you doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say benefits the hour." So what Antonio is saying here is he's maybe a psychopath or a sociopath. He has no conscience. He doesn't even allow conscience to enter into any of this. He doesn't feel the slightest bit of remorse about what he did to Prospero. So he's like, there's your brother, and he is no better or worse than anyone else. He's no better or worse at ruling Naples than you could be. What if I took my sword and stabbed him, and you took your sword and stabbed Gonzalo? All the rest of them are dumb enough that we could say that like there were savages on this island or whatever, and they came by and slaughtered them, and we weren't able to do anything. And Sebastian agrees to this. After this monologue, he's like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So they both draw their swords. Antonio's prepared to kill Alonso, and Sebastian's prepared to kill Gonzalo. And they're like, okay, ready? On the count of 3. But then Ariel comes in and is like, whoop, this isn't supposed to be happening. And Ariel sings a little song that wakes all of the rest of them up. So they wake up and they see these 2 guys with their swords drawn, and they're like, whoa, what is going on here? And Sebastian's like, we heard a lion and we had to protect you from it. And Antonio's like, yeah, oh no, it had to be like a whole herd of lions. So they play it off as defense instead of attempted murder. And Alonso has decided, I guess at some point while he was asleep, that perchance Ferdinand could be alive. So he's like, let's just go and see if maybe we can find my son somewhere. So the whole troop goes off to search the island and see if they can find Ferdinand. And that's the end of Act 2, Scene 1. So, yeah, fun stuff. Act 2, and we've already had a shipwreck. We've had some people not quite drowning. We've had 2 attempted murders. Where's this play gonna go? Anyway, we'll find out more when we get into Act 2, Scene 2 tomorrow. Mwah.